どうも、エルズと申します。F1 公式ポッドキャストにて、F1 司会者のトム・クラークソンと、F1 特派員のローレンス・バレットが出演。レッドブルの今後のシートをめぐる争いについて、触れていました。日本語訳と合わせてご紹介いたします。それではどうぞ。
I think what will be interesting is with VCARB is how Liam Lawson deals with the pressure of being speculated as a potential replacement for Sergio Perez in the future. It will depend on whether or not Yuki Tsunoda copes with the pressure of whether or not he's in the fight. Today he did, I thought he did a great job, and I thought VCARB did a great job generally over the course of the weekend. So that is probably ultimately what it's going to come down to, is whether or not they do a good job from that first practice session.
Lovely segue into the final thing I wanted to talk about. You mentioned the pressure on Liam Lawson, and this was his least convincing race of the comeback, I feel. You then talk about Franco Colapinto, who's had 3 crashes in 2 Grand Prix, and you suddenly realise these are hugely talented racing drivers who have been able to come in when there's no pressure and deliver and be mega, and then suddenly you've got the weight of Argentina on one driver's shoulders and Red Bull Racing on the other driver's shoulders. And when the pressure's on to perform and you can feel the eyes of the world looking at you, it becomes a different game, doesn't it? It really does. And how you bounce back from that, I think, will determine whether you have a long Grand Prix career or not for these young guys.
But at least that can be the making of them. I think I did think that this was going to be a big weekend for Franco, because after those 2 crashes in Brazil, it's always super important, isn't it, to bounce back at that next weekend. He kind of did so in Baku when he had that little off in practice, and he bounced back and scored points. He hasn't managed to have that bounce back this weekend. So actually these final 2 races that he gets to perform for Williams are significant. I think for Liam, I think we've seen enough from him in the performances that we had last year and this year to suggest that he is a very good Grand Prix driver. But like you said, Tom, the pressure is different now because there is a seat at the top table at Red Bull, whether or not that is next year or in the years to come. And it will be critical for him to frankly beat Yuki in these next couple of races. So we've talked about...
いかがだったでしょうか。角田選手としては、レッドブルのシート争いにはすでに慣れており、自分自身の走りに集中しているように思えます。残り2戦、さらに良い結果を残し、レッドブル昇格を含む F1 での将来の選択肢が増えることを期待したいですね。また今後も F1 に関しての情報をまとめた動画を制作していく予定です。継続するためにもぜひいいねやチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。角田選手について、または動画の感想などコメントでいただけると嬉しいです。それでは。